So this is Colton Marble. I am just going over my final unit project. I chose to do a unit on electricity, mostly because that is what I'm going to be teaching in my Agricultural Systems and Technology 2 course at the beginning of second semester, so that's coming up here in a couple of weeks, and so I figured, well, I'm going to work on that one. Some of it are things that I did last year, and some of it are things that I adjusted a little bit based on input from the prompt and things I've learned in this class. But basically we start out talking about measuring of electricity. I give them batteries, I give them AA, AAA, D, C's, and I try to have them arrange them in what they think is the voltage from highest to low. And I throw a 9 volt in there too, and they all think bigger is better, and then we start talking about no, that's based on how much stored amperage or current is in there, and that most of them except for the 9 volt all have the same voltage. So that gets them thinking about how to measure. Then we talk about that. I use an analogy. I didn't put this in the unit plan due to space, but it's common with electricity about how it's kind of like water in a hose. We work on some electrical formulas that first day. Day 2, we kind of review that. We start talking about wires, color coding, how it should be wired, sizing, cabling, and also instruction on how to wire circuits. What I like to do is I like to teach them all the diagrams that first day, have them write it in their notes, and then that's what they need to use to wire it later. I do that mostly because I don't want them to get used to me telling them what to do, and I also want them to think a little bit and take good notes. And so I tell them that this is the only time that I'm going to show them how to do the diagram, and I'll answer any questions and I'll clarify it, but that it's their responsibility to take the notes, and that I kind of leave them. I'm less helpful to them later on, which starts with day 3. At that point, they know a little bit about electricity. I'm going to give them a quiz just to kind of see how well they caught on to the measurements, the formulas, and the color coding, and then we'll get right into them working on circuit boards in groups of 2, and they'll have to complete a basic circuit with a single pole, single throw switch, and a light. And then after they check that off, they're going to add a receptacle. That's one of the 2 worksheets combined together that are on wiring. And the second one is that after that they do a 3-way switch and then add a receptacle. As they're doing these circuits, they have to check them off with a multimeter before we'll plug them in. I pretty much need to block all electrical outlets in the shop because they'll try to do it if I'm not watching. It ends up in a lot of tripped circuit breakers. But I like this unit. I like in the shop them wiring. There's a lot of opportunities for them to make mistakes, but they also have to reflect and evaluate what they did wrong and how to fix it. Like I said, I'm not going to tell them what is wrong and what is wrong and what is correct. And even when it works, I will glance at it, and if it's not colored wired right, like you got a black wire where they should have a white wire and vice versa, or ground's in the wrong place, even though it works, I'll tell them that no, it's not right. And it's a good unit. I didn't put this in the unit plan as well, but when we talk about, I just remembered this now, when we talk about wires, color codings, I'll talk about like a 12-3 with ground or a 14-3 with ground, which is a black, white, red wire with ground, and that's what they need for a 4-way switch. I'll tell them about it, and then when they get to the 3-way switch, they'll all start trying to wire it with just the basic 12-2 or 14-2 wire, and I won't tell them until I will. If they're really slow picking it up, I'll give them some hints, but I won't tell them that that's what they need. I'll tell them that they basically need to ask for the wire by name, 14-3 or 12-3, depending on what we're using, and let's get them thinking about it. That'll usually take I don't know, I guessed about 4 days. I think it might have took longer last year, but that's just what I factored in. Yeah, after that, what I am going to do this year, mostly because I need another assessment, and I think it's a good idea, is I'm going to present them with a circuit that doesn't work. It's sort of like a final assessment, and they will have to use a multimeter on it and complete the assignment that I've attached. That's my third assessment. And then after that, we will have a final test, heavily on measurements, color coding, wires, conduit. I'll have them answer a few basic questions on using electrical formulas, such as wattage, watts equals volts times amps, and such. Yeah, that's the basics of the unit. It's a good unit. Allows for a lot of time to think. I hope. There are some areas in the unit prompt that it wouldn't let me type more, so it kind of looks like I didn't put a lot. That's just because I was trying to put as much as I could based on room. But I hope I filled it out correctly. I'm excited to teach this unit, and thanks for your time.